This is your shadow work reading. Shadow work for shadow self. Number 17 is blame. So if you're seeing the sigil, you are blaming others and blaming circumstances and situations instead of clearly seeing what you were thinking, saying, and doing to create the situation that you're complaining about. Look at yourself honestly. Do you have a reason or an excuse about why something went wrong that absolves you from guilt, responsibility, or fault? Is it understandable why you would choose this perspective or to choose only to see someone else's fault in a situation? Seeing your own faults makes you feel terrible about yourself, and despite, because it means you might have been able to do something different that would have potentially prevented the negative situation at hand. This is a torture for most people to become aware of, because if you refuse to see your responsibility and even fault in the situation, you will not see what you could have done differently. This guarantees that you cannot make actual remedies to the situation. You are therefore likely to end up in exactly the same situation over and over again until you see where you went wrong and what you need to do differently. So it is important not to blame yourself. It is also important not to blame others. Instead, everyone, you, must clearly see what was their responsibility and what was our relative to the situation at hand. So everybody has to take accountability. What we must not do is to use our awareness of what was theirs or even invent inaccurate stories about how they are to blame to avoid seeing what is our responsibility, because that's easy. Just like pointing a finger at someone, there's always 3 fingers pointed back at you. So, if you're seeing this number 17 blame shadow work card for your shadow self, you need to take responsibility for your actions. Responsibility is the opportunity to act independently because you are the one who has the duty to deal with something anonymously. And I'm reading this card in Aries season at the highest point of the sun, right? And this is all about blame and how the blame should be looked at first by you. What did you have to do with the situation? And then look out. Responsibility is also required to achieve an aim. Not taking responsibility is like standing at the end of a bowling alley, hoping someone else will throw the ball for you so you don't have to be accountable for the results of doing so yourself, right? Or if somebody is, when you're a kid and somebody's want to steal something, and you let the other person steal it so you don't get in trouble, right? Even though you both was plotting the idea and you both was planning on sharing whatever that person stole. We are putting ourselves in a position of powerlessness and telling ourselves we could or can do nothing about the situation that we are in. Responsibility comes with a certain kind of pressure, and you can pause on that and think about anything that you're responsible for. And it can be as little as a pet, it can be a bill that you're responsible for, it can be an entire household, it could be you're responsible for a car, you're responsible to keep your cell phone bill on, You know, you might be responsible for certain chores and duties, you know, at your job or at home. You might be responsible for certain family obligations. So you might be responsible of taking care of someone else's responsibility. But just pause on that. Responsibility comes with a certain kind of pressure, you know, and that's a no-brainer, because even if you just sit back and think about that, you might be responsible for getting good grades or going to school, you know, and or responsible for behaving a certain way or have a certain mind frame you might be responsible for. So now is the time to really accept and take on this pressure for the sake of your own life and your own relationships. Have a wonderful day and night for this shadow work for shadow self reading.